Okay, now let's try to understand that how the super keyword is used with the Java. So let's create a new class over here and giving a class name that is super demo. Here in this class, what I'm going to do that let's declare one child class. Okay, so like class, let's say child, or the subclass. So you must have guessed that the super keyword will be used whenever there would be a relationship between the two classes. Okay, so right now there is no relationship between the super demo and the subclass. Okay, so here let's create the relationship by creating a subclass as a child class of the super demo. So now that suppose assume that here you are having a variable, let's say integer I. Okay, similarly here in this class also you are having a variable I. Okay, and in the subclass let's say that you have a method void my method, and inside this method if you want to access this both of the variables, how you can access? So definitely here you must require to use the super keyword to access the variable of the parent class. Okay, in case wherever you have an ambiguity in the name of the two different variables. Okay, so right now suppose if you want to print like s out. Okay, I'm just typing that the instance variable of subclass is I. Okay, like this is what we want to print, and also I'm going to print the instance variable of superclass or super demo, let's say like this. Okay, so here if I will use only I, then this I would be referred from the current class, not from the parent class. Okay, I can show you. Let me declare the main method. Okay, and just creating the object of subclass like this. Subclass s is equal to new subclass. Okay, and just calling a method that is s dot my method. Okay, and I can run this and get the output. So here in both case you can see that we are getting output 0. Obviously it is confusing. Let me initialize these variables with some value. Let's say this initialized with value 20 and this one is initialized with value 10. Okay, now let's run it once again. In this case, you are going to get the output 20. That means that I is not getting differentiated. Okay. So what we supposed to do to call the variable of the super class. So for that, we can use a keyword that is super. Okay. So we can write like this, that super dot I, so that it will be referring to the variable of the parent class. Okay, now if I run the program once again, now I will be getting the actual output. Okay, so this is the value of the subclass variable and this is the value of the superclass variable. Okay, so here we have used this super keyword to access variable of super class. It is not necessary that if you have the same variable then and then you can use it. Suppose if you have another variable, let's say integer j is equal to 30, then also you can use like that super dot j. That is possible. Okay, yeah. Now this is one of the use that to access the variable of the superclass. Suppose in the superclass you have the similar method like void my method. That means now you are overriding the method, okay, which has no implementation. Okay, so here let me just print a message that is no implementation, though the implementation is there. Okay, let me give the message that is method from super class like this. Okay, so now if I want to call this my method from the this particular like subclass. Okay, so what I can do that here from the super class subclass I can write like that, let super dot my method. Okay, suppose if you will write only my method, then what is going to happen? It is going to become recursion, right? It is going to call the same method again and again of the subclass. But if you want to call the method of the parent class, you must have to use the keyword called super with the method calling. Okay, so to access method of the parent class. Okay, let's run this and let's see the output. So here you can see we have the same output, but along with that one more, that is method from superclass. Okay, so these are the uses of the superclass. One more use that I'm going to show it is with the constructor. Okay, suppose if you want to call the constructor of the superclass from the constructor of the subclass, you can use the super keyword. Let me show you how. So suppose I'm declaring a constructor of the subclass like this, and from here if I want to call the constructor of the parent class, this is how I can call. So suppose if I want to call the default constructor, then I can write a super like this. Okay, so here I'm calling super class constructor. Okay, suppose here in the superclass constructor, if you are having parameterized constructor like this, let me show you super demo with some argument like say integer I. Okay, so what you can do, that the same thing you can do here, that you have to pass something like, suppose you can pass the value like super with value 10, so that the constructor of the superclass would be called. Okay, so let me show you that by printing a message that the constructor of superclass called like this. Okay, right, and here let me write that is out constructor of the subclass called. Let me run the application and let me show you. So here you can see that the constructor of the superclass called constructor of the subclass called. Okay, why? Because first we are creating the object of the subclass, so that the control will go over here, and super, if you call the superclass constructor, then that must be the first statement in the constructor, otherwise you will get error. Okay, it must be a first statement. Suppose if I'm removing this, okay, from here, and if I will put after any statement, then it will give the error like this, that call to super must be the first statement in the constructor body. So remember this thing. Okay, so we have done this, right? So we have understood the use of super keyword. That's it for this video.